Hello and welcome to Ginny's Horse Product Review. I'm Ginny, and in today's video I'm going to tell you why you should not spend any money on arthritis supplements until you watch this video. If you're like me, maybe you have a senior horse that has a little bit of arthritis and you're researching what you should do, how you should manage him, and you're running into a lot of really expensive ads and supplements and things like that. But I'm going to share with you some important tips for how to manage your arthritic horse before you start spending money on supplements and other expensive treatments. Look, we know the supplement industry is huge, and a lot of it is based on unsubstantiated research. I mean, there are a few products here and there with legitimate peer-reviewed research behind them, but so many of these supplements are, it's just, who knows what you're getting, how are they regulated, things like that, and they're so expensive when it comes to horse supplements. So you definitely want to make sure you're doing what you can to manage your horse's condition and arthritis and things like that before you start potentially flushing money down the toilet on supplements that may or may not work. Even if you do manage to find a really good reputable supplement that has some research behind it and that does work for arthritis, if you're not appropriately managing your horse, you're just going to be throwing money into the wind anyway. So, definitely make sure that your horse is managed properly before you start spending money. Even though I know it feels good to just, order a supplement and feel like, I did that, my horse is going to feel better, I bought it, I spent some money, and they're going to, this is going to work. That's not always the case. Before you buy any expensive arthritis supplement, make sure that your horse has room to move around. Is your horse on full turnout, or are they locked in a stall for however many hours a day? A sedentary, stationary lifestyle is the worst thing for a horse with arthritis, just like it is for people. If your horse is locked in a box stall for a certain amount of hours in the day, that is going to make them so uncomfortable. It's going to be bad for their arthritis and their joints. Talk to any human with arthritis. Sitting still or being in one position for a long time can be so painful. You want those joints to be moving around. You don't want them to be holding still. Full turnout, even if it's just a little paddock, is better than being locked in a small stall. If you're at a place and the best you can do is get a run, that's, better than nothing. But do what you can to get your horse the space he or she needs to move around and keep those joints moving. If you've seen any of my other videos about arthritic horses, you may be familiar with my horse Bamboozle. He is 25 years old. He's a senior Morgan gelding. He's got a little bit of arthritis, and this is one of the #1 ways that I manage him and have managed him for a couple of years, and I've been able to keep him sound and comfortable, and I truly believe that's because he gets to walk around every day. And depending on the places we've been, it may have been a smaller paddock or a huge pasture, but wherever it is, I make sure that he's not just locked in a stall stationary every day. Even a few hours can make your horse more painful. So make sure you're doing what you can to see that your horse has appropriate accommodations to make sure that he can keep those joints fluid and moving around for as long as possible. In addition to full turnout, you also want to make sure that your arthritic horse is on a regular trim cycle or shoeing cycle. Don't let them go too long between farrier visits. I know a lot of people who kind of neglect older horse hooves a little bit. These horses aren't as in heavy use like, younger athletic horses. They don't have to go to shows. It doesn't have to look pretty all the time. And so they kind of get, they kind of fall between the cracks a little bit. And older horses, especially with arthritis, need just as much trimming and shoeing maintenance, if not more, than younger athletic horses. Keeping your older arthritic horse sound and comfortable is a joint effort between you and your farrier. And also, if you need to, bring your vet in on it. If you're dealing with soundness issues and your horse is in pain, these are your support people. This is who you talk to about these things. And, who knows, they may have supplement recommendations for you or other management options. And it's just really important to make sure that you're touching base with these people and that your horse is on a regular trim or shoeing cycle. You also want to make sure that you're managing your arthritic horse's weight. A horse that's very overweight is going to be putting more pressure, more weight on those joints. And I know this isn't necessarily the most common issue with arthritic horses. A lot of us with arthritic horses, they're typically older and maybe a little bit harder to keep weight on. But if you do have an easy keeper, a pony, things like that, like some of us, even into their golden years, they can still pack on the pounds. So you definitely want to make sure that they're not carrying a ton of extra weight that's going to put more stress on those joints. So if you're doing all of this stuff and you're managing your arthritic horse appropriately, I would definitely then look into supplements. But just know that not all of these are tested and regulated, and they may not be as effective as you'd like them to be. And this could also be a discussion to have with your vet about, maybe injections or an NSAID or things like that, depending on your horse's comfort and soundness moving forward. So definitely make sure that you are managing your arthritic horse appropriately before you just go out and buy a bunch of supplements. If you want more tips on how to keep your arthritic horse comfortable and sound and heading down the trail like mine, definitely go check out some of my other videos. How do you keep your senior horse comfortable? I would love to hear about it. Leave me a comment. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button. That really helps me out. And make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you don't miss next week's video where I talk to you about the best saddle for short-backed horses.